Roy de la Cerda, as Program Director here, and to all of you, thank you so much for welcoming us here. I just wanted you to know how very grateful we are at the Department of Health and Human Services for the work that Upbring does for these children, and we're delighted to hear more about it and hear more about your sense of passion and mission and what you do. We're privileged to be with you, and I'm just...
And I take care of the everyday operations with the children.
Good morning. I am Beatriz Mejia. I'm the medical care coordinator for Upbring here in New Hope. We do the health screening for each unique health children.
Hello, good morning. My name is Crystal Gonzalez. I'm the lead teacher aide. I make sure to these kids to get the best education we can give them so they can have a successful life.
Hello, good morning. My name is Nora Yanis Cavazos. I am with HHS ORR, and I work with the program in reviewing the cases of the children who will be reunified with their family members and sponsors.
My name is Jose Gonzalez, and I'm the Field Specialist Supervisor for the Division of Unaccompanied Children Operations. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I heard you have like 58 children here.
Today we have 55.
55?
Yes.
Oh,
we
so,
reunified 3.
oh, that's awesome.
So we're always playing with that number.
Oh, that's great. So 3 of them, they already reunited with the families. And those children, how many times they speak with their relatives or families per week, for example?
Well, the children are allowed to communicate with their family twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
They get a 10-minute phone call. But first we have to ensure that the persons that they're contacting, their families, are indeed their families. So there is a process. We have to follow all of ORR policies and regulations and make sure that we positively identify that the persons that they're communicating with are indeed their family. And that could be through verification of birth certificates, photo identification, but they do communicate weekly with their families.
So when the children come here, what kind of stage, physical and mental stage they come here? Are they distract? So what you would say, the percentage, how they come here?
Well,
Clinician?
Okay, so usually the great majority are Guatemalan. It's a higher percentage rate. Usually when they get here, they're very distraught in the sense that they don't know where they're at. They're thinking they're going to continue in the process of just the processing them. And when they see the environment and they see the other kids and they see the art, they start relaxing. So the first 24 hours are crucial for us, making sure that we got them the basic needs, showers, clothing, food, and before we even start the assessment. And within those 24 hours, our unit shelter managers in charge of, doing a brief update as to what's going on with them. That way we can address it immediately. And then eventually every department takes a turn to be able to further assess the needs of the kiddos. So it's a process. It's a process.
Yes. But I heard they're very happy and they love to study.
Absolutely.
They love to go to school.
Absolutely. Again, when the children first get here, it is a process. They go through an orientation. They go through a 24-hour initial intake. So this is where we get as much information as we possibly can from the children, again, to assess and make sure that we're not missing anything. If there's an immediate medical need, that is immediately addressed. If there's an immediate mental health issue or that needs to be addressed, we bring in our clinicians, and then we take it from there. After they do an orientation, they go through several orientations. They'll go through the shelter. They will go through case management orientation. Then they'll also go through clinical orientation. So they will get of understanding of their current placement. And again, this is to inform them and keep them as calm as possible and to reassure them that they are in a safe place, that they will be well taken care of here, that they don't have anything to worry about. Now they're in a safe environment, free from abuse.
Yes.
And then, every day is something new with the children. We provide a lot of structure here. During the Monday through Friday schedule, they do attend class, and we try to educate them. We try to assimilate them to what the public school education system is going to be like. So, and then we also integrate recreational activities, spiritual care for the children, downtime for them. This is their home. And it's they refer to these as shelters, but it is really a home for the children. This is their house, so their bedrooms are their bedrooms. And as you will see, First Lady, when we do the tour, you'll see the children and you'll see the smiles on their faces, and you'll hear them giggle, and it's just fantastic. The staff that we have here, we just have a tremendous passion for working with these children, and we see them as if they were our own. Again, we do maintain boundaries, and we do follow all our policies and guidelines, but again, just the passion that is there in working with these children, ensuring that they're safe, and ultimately reunifying them with their families.
How long is the time that the max time that somebody spent here that they reunited with the family?
Right now we are averaging currently 42 to 45 days.
Okay.
So it's not an extended stay, and we're always following our policies and procedures and guidelines as far as reunifications are concerned with the children. But the average length of stay currently is between 42 and 45 days.
That's great.
Madam First Lady, there is some occasions where some children do not have anybody to go back to. And then at those situations, they are further assessed by the legal service provider that can help identify if they qualify for some type of legal relief. And eventually some children will move on to refugee status and not unaccompanied children. And again, it's few and far between, but we do have that process where some children do not have anybody to go to, whose families have been killed, murdered in just different, very tragic situations. And hopefully, when you get to speak some of the children, to a couple of the children today, you'll see that there's not hope for them to go back to a country that they're leaving. So we get a broad spectrum. We have kids that come into custody and are reunified rather quickly if everything is in order. And then we have some children that will, unfortunately, and fortunately, stay within the system for a number of years until they can qualify for refugee status and move on to our other sister program, which is the Unaccompanied Refugee Minor Program.
So these children, most of them come here alone, without parents?
The majority of our children,
center,
yes ma'am, they are unaccompanied, and were detained by DHS and Border Patrol for the majority, and that's a big part of who we are and who we work with. Yes,
because they are between 12 and 17 years old, right? So it's kind of, they kind of understand, they know where they are. So
yes,
they're not like young children.
Yes ma'am, that's correct.
Do you have the capability to take care of younger children here, younger than 12?
Our license, our state license, does allow us to take children up until as young as 6, but for the current census right now, OR has asked us to stay within the 12 to 17 range.
And Mr. Secretary, oftentimes we'll place younger children in our foster homes.
Could you explain that process, how you do that?
Sure. So at the time of detention or apprehension, we work very closely with our partners over at Homeland Security, and they identify young children from, let's say, 0 to 5 years old. And we have a series of a network of foster homes throughout the United States that are licensed in that particular state to work with children from 0 to 5 years old. And it's a family setting that these kids work in. And again, the same standard applies. We assess them for any medical need or any serious complication where we may have to use doctors, hospitals in that situation, because we get every type of child in our custody. Somebody who's non-mobile, non-verbal, to somebody whose mom may have perished in the Rio Grande or something that here in South Texas. So those kind of kids are taken care of, very special circumstances, and they're throughout the United States also.
And we, as Upbring, have foster care programs in Corpus Christi as well as El Paso, and as of today are currently serving around 100 children in those programs.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to meeting children and tour the facility. So thank you very much again for all what you do. Thank you.
What we'll do now is y'all can wait for us here. First lady and Dr. Sessions,